at me inches from my face. He would keep coming at me. I would push him away and he reacted by grabbing me by the throat. I have learned that strangulation is a step away from being killed, and he was showing me that he didn't care about my life and that he could take it if he wanted to.
This is file 23-6673FH on a sentencing, the charge of child abuse in the third degree, a 2-year felony, and domestic violence, a 93-day misdemeanor. The sentence agreement was for a delay of sentence on the felony child abuse with a misdemeanor at the end, and for the domestic violence to be placed on a 769-4A deferral. I met with counsel in chambers to discuss the difficulties that we have in some of our reporting duties to the state to make both parts of that plea happen. And therefore, it would be my intention not to follow the details of that plea agreement, but instead to place both counts on a delay of sentence. And if Mr. Dennis successfully completed the terms of the delay, to reduce the child abuse third to the fourth as agreed, and ask the prosecutor to nolly the domestic violence. Mr. Juliet, does that cause the people to wish to withdraw from the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Clean?
No, but I'll just confirm with Mr. Dennis. You understand, Dakota, that it's kind of a procedural thing, but the end result's gonna be the same. You understand that? Okay. So the cake's still gonna come out of the oven. It's gonna look the same. It's gonna be made differently, okay?
Okay.
All right.
There's some stuff that the lawyers care about that humans really shouldn't care about, but that we gotta dot all the i's and cross all the t's. Makes sense with all the laws. All right. All right, so with that, Mr. Clean, if you had a chance to review the pre-sentence report, do you have any additions, corrections?
I don't have any additions, corrections, deletions to the contents report. Scoring of sentencing guidelines seems to be appropriate. The only concern that we had, I briefly alluded to it in chambers. There is an ongoing child custody dispute, although I'm not asking the court at this point to make a determination. I would just ask the special condition be able to be amended so that the parties do come to an agreement with regards to child custody and parenting time in front of Judge Bisnow. This court order to be amended to accommodate that. That'd be special condition 4.5.
Okay, good. All right, and I have had a chance to review the written impact statement as well. Mr. Juliet, any additions, corrections, or challenges to the range of 0 to 9 months?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Clean, anything you wish to say on that?
Your Honor, I did not make a record of what my opinion on the case was in chambers. Perhaps we discussed it. I'll be brief in my statement. I believe that parents or children necessarily benefit from having the involvement of both parents in their lives. I would hope that these parties can get to that point where the benefit of the child can be in having a 2-parent family. That would be my goal. That'd be my hope. Mr. Dennis has been excellent on bond. I don't anticipate any kind of issues. And I would just make that request that if we ultimately get to or if they ultimately get to the point where this works as communication between the two of them for the benefit of their child, that the court's order could be amended.
All right, thank you. Mr. Dennis, is there anything you want to say today or no?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Juliet, any recommendations from you?
I would ask the court to adopt the recommendation. In this case, it's sort of interesting because there's I guess each party's getting sort of the benefit of the plea agreement that was reached. So I'll leave it at that. But I do believe the victim, Ms. Inglesby, may have wanted to supplement her statement.
Absolutely. Ms. Inglesby, if you want to come forward, if you wish to make a statement, you can come up to the podium and tell me anything you think that I should know.
I would like the court to understand that what Dakota is being charged with is more than just one incident. There's been a pattern of abusive behavior for 6 years. I kept hoping he would change and that we could have a healthy relationship for the sake of our son, Casman. His reactions to frustrations are over the top and dangerous. I've had a hard time remembering the first year of our son's life due to constant postpartum stress because of Dakota's ongoing abuse. When our son was 1.5 years old, he threw a toy at Dakota's head and Dakota smacked his butt so hard that it left an outline in red on his bottom and caused him to fly forward a foot. In the past, Dakota has screamed at me inches from my face. He would keep coming at me. I would push him away and he reacted by grabbing me by the throat. I have learned that strangulation is a step away from being killed, and he was showing me that he didn't care about my life and that he could take it if he wanted to.
Ms. Inglesby, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I know that this is a difficult statement for you to give. I do want to just let you know, to the extent that you are reading the written statement, you are certainly allowed to do so if you wish, but I do have it and have read it. So so I just want to give you that option. You don't have to read it to me if you don't wish.
In April of 2023, he saw my text to a friend and called me at work, acting and screaming and accusing me of cheating. I texted my mom because I was worried about my son's safety since Dakota was getting worked up. Unfortunately, Dakota could see on my iPad that I was texting my mom to go check on Casper. He said, "Don't bother to send your mom, Casper won't be here when he gets there." Dakota would say Casper was better off without him. Dakota has threatened to kill me in the past. He told Casper that he would hang himself by the river and to enjoy his new daddy. He would say if I ever left him and kept him from Casper, he would ruin my life. Dakota was very possessive and would call and text me incessantly. If I didn't respond immediately, even though he knew I was at work, he would call me a whore and accuse me of cheating. He punched holes in the wall and kicked doors in. He punched our TV and cut his finger, bleeding badly. He broke sentimental items and my son's toys. He snapped a phone I got him in half. He once grabbed me by the throat and threw me against the wall, all while our baby was in the tub. When I tried to call 911, he barreled so I couldn't not call for help. And Dakota would often run away after these events, so he couldn't be found if I had called the police. The extent of my son and I's trauma has been difficult. I look over my shoulder often in parking lots. I couldn't go anywhere alone because I was scared. I had to quit my previous job because I couldn't trust anyone to take care of Casper. I couldn't trust Dakota's family members for 6 months, and some I still don't. Casper has a very strong reaction whenever I have physical touch with anyone. Casper had night terrors, waking up 3 to 4 times a night for nearly months. Now he can sleep all through the night in his own bed since he hasn't had contact with Dakota. It is difficult for me to move forward without a fight, flight, or freeze response to situations in life. I intend therapy that is specifically focused on trauma and trauma response for victims of domestic violence and abuse. I am fortunate to have these resources, but I still live each day in constant fear that me and my son are going to be harmed again. I am terrified for Casper to be around his dad due to Dakota's impulsivity. I'm also left confused and heartbroken as I want to encourage a relationship with my son and his dad, but I can't do that knowing that he is emotionally and physically unsafe due to his father's behavior. It is very difficult trying to explain why he can't see his dad. Dakota has refused to deal with his abusive behavior, possible mental illness. He has refused for the 6 years we have been together to go to a doctor or counselor. I know change can only happen if he is invested in changing in his own ways. I want him to be required to do whatever counseling, parenting classes, etc., for him to be held accountable to do this important work and to learn how to change. Court orders and probation is the only way I foresee he will get help.
Thank you. Mr. Julia, any further recommendations?
No, you're.
All right, Mr. Dennis, you please stand for the court sentence. Well, Mr. Dennis, you're 29 years of age. You don't have any prior felony convictions. You know, your actions did cause, as you've heard, harm into a situation that now is preventing you know, your child from receiving the benefit that the child should receive of a normal relationship with both parents. I do think that given the totality of the circumstances, including what's available to me in the pre-sentence report and lack of criminal history, I do believe that a delay of sentence is appropriate. So I will follow the terms of of that plea agreement with the modification that I made procedurally. And so as to both counts, I'm going to place you on a delay of sentence for up to a year. During that year, you have to comply with the probationary terms that are listed in pages 2 and 3 in the pre-sentence report. They include treatment and counseling as referred by your field agent. They do include a curfew. They do include a no contact provision. And I guess what I'll say about that is if in the custody matter, there is an order that would allow for that parenting time, then present that order to your supervising agent. And then if you're doing well, then the agent will be talking with me about amending your terms of probation. Okay. Also, there's some financial penalties. There's $130 as a crime victims assessment, $350 for court costs, $118 in cost to the state, $60 for DNA testing fee, and there's a supervision fee per month to the Department of Corrections. Also, I do want to advise you that the law does require me to notify the Department of Health and Human Services of the child abuse conviction, and they will place you on a central registry. All right. That's the sentence of the court, because we're technically delaying your sentence for a year to see if you get the benefit of the leniency that you're offered. We don't do appeal rights at this time, and you're not eligible for any early discharge as well. All right, do you have any questions for me? Do you want me to stick around to talk with you?
No, Your Honor, we'll reach out.
Okay, Agent Young will be reaching out to you shortly. Also approach on Simmons and Kirby before I bring them in from Zoom. Sure. All right, and this is People v. Lisa Barentine. It's file 23-6675FH. We're here for a docket call, and also looks like a bond hearing for failing to appear and failing to test. Mr. Gilbert, how are we proceeding today?
In regards to the bond of, or the contempt, I believe, Your Honor, my client is going to plead guilty, and also to the underlying case, we do have a plea agreement.
Ms. Barentine, as best you can you raise your right hand for me? Just swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, now, Ms. Barentine, a guilty plea, is it Barentine, Barentine?
Barentine, you got it. Thank you.
Ms. Barentine, a guilty plea hearing is an important event. It includes the waiver of constitutional rights that you have, so listen carefully. At any time, if you've got doubts, questions, or hesitations, let me know. Possession of cocaine is a felony, punishable by up to 4 years and or a $25,000 fine. Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you on probation or parole anywhere?
No, I've never had any charges besides a misdemeanor whenever I was like 17.
Okay.
I have not gotten any trouble.
All right. Do you understand if you enter a plea, you won't have a trial and you'll be giving up the rights that you would have had at trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
I want to remind you of the more important of those rights. You'd have the right to be tried by a jury and at that trial to be presumed innocent unless and until the prosecutor proves you're guilty on the reasonable doubt. You'd have the right to have the witnesses against you appear, to question them. You'd have the right to present witnesses in your own defense and have me order them to show up. You'd have the right to testify at your trial in your own defense, or to remain silent and not have your silence used against you. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you wish to give up those rights and enter a plea according to the terms of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if I accept your plea, you can't come back later on and tell me that it wasn't your own free choice because of any reason at all, including other promises made to you or any threats made to you. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And also, when you plead guilty, you lose the right to appeal. And if you wanted to appeal, you have to seek permission by filing an application. Now, the types of issues that you can raise on an appeal after a guilty plea are much more limited than if you were convicted after a trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so, and that's fine. You hesitated, which is fine. It's a lot of information. If you went to trial and were convicted, you'd have an automatic right to appeal to the Court of Appeals, a higher court, and raise any issue you wanted. And they'd have to answer all your questions, all your issues. They'd have to. When you enter a plea, that's all different. They don't have to take your case at all. You have to apply for them to take your case. You have to get permission to appeal. And then even if they take your case, they don't have to answer all your questions. There's some issues that you completely give up by entering a plea. So the types of issues you could raise on an appeal are very, very limited. So do you understand that in general?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about that for me or your lawyer?
No.
Oh. All right, the plea agreement provides in exchange for your plea of guilty to count one, there's a sentence agreement for sentencing pursuant to section 7411 of the Public Health Code. That means you'd be placed on probation, and if you successfully completed the terms of that probation, the file would be a non-public file and you wouldn't have a public conviction from it. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. So it would not be on my record?
Yes, if you comply with probation.
Okay.
Mr. Gilbert, is that a full, fair, and accurate statement of his terms?
It is, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Juliet?
It is.
All right, Ms. Barentine, that sentence agreement for the 7411, it's not binding on me. I didn't sign this agreement. So if I didn't want to follow it, I wouldn't have to. But if I did not follow it, you'd be allowed to withdraw your plea because you wouldn't be getting what you bargained for. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, there's an exception to that if you were to engage in some misconduct between now and the sentencing, violating a court order, failing to appear, not, or committing a new crime, any misconduct like that, you would lose the right to withdraw the plea, even if I didn't go along with that agreement. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. Can I just state that my head wasn't clear this last 6 months? I was in a car accident. I lost my mom and sister in that car accident, almost lost a family friend. I just went through a very depressional state. That's really all I had. So it just took a toll on me, and I take full accountability in my actions and not doing what I should have done. But I understand bond more now, and I've never had a felony charge or been in any trouble like this. So
We're gonna work on the bond. We're gonna talk about the bond in just a minute. Okay, right now we're talking about the underlying case. Okay.
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 Okay, and that's fine. And I just have a lot of questions I have to go through just to make sure you understand the process and all your rights as we're getting toward it. So, Ms. Barentine, other than the plea agreement, has anybody promised you anything to get you to plead guilty?
No,
Has anybody threatened you to make you plead?
no, Your Honor.
Is doing so your own free choice?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing all this, how do you wish to plead to the charge of possession of cocaine?
Guilty.
So on or about May 28th of last year, 2023, were you in Sheboygan County?
Yes, Your Honor.
And while you were in Sheboygan County, did you possess the controlled substance cocaine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you know that it was cocaine that you were possessing?
No, Your Honor.
Did you know that it was a controlled substance you were possessing?
It was on a it was residue on something, so I
What
didn't.
was it on?
A spoon.
Okay, did you know that you were possessing the spoon?
No, Your Honor.
Whose spoon was it?
Okay, I'm gonna say yes, Your Honor.
Well, listen, no, none of this I'm gonna say. None of that. We only deal with truth in this room, and you're under oath. So you can only tell me true things unless you want to get charged with perjury. So you can only tell me true things. It wasn't your spoon. You're not guilty of it. We got a trial. That's why we have courts, is to do trials. Was this your cocaine? I know you said it was residue. Was this your cocaine residue or not?
It was on my possession, so yes.
Where was it on your possession?
And I believe in my bag or in a coat.
Okay, how'd it get there?
I'm assuming it was there for it was my sister's bag.
Were you in possession of it?
I had the bag with me, yes.
Well, help me out here. Were you using cocaine at the time?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I mean, so listen, if somebody, I got a bag in my chambers. Somebody grabs that bag and puts cocaine in it, and then I go grab the bag. Am I guilty of a crime? No, I didn't know it was there. So this is what I need to know. Do you know that you had cocaine residue? You had some drug paraphernalia
No, Your Honor.
with you that day? Okay, then I can't accept it. All right, so let's schedule this for a continued docket call then. Let's let's just put it over a week.
That'd be fine, Your Honor.
To next week at 3:30. All right, so Ms. Barentine, I'm not intending to give you any hard time at all. I just, we can't, I can't accept a guilty plea from somebody who is not articulating that they did anything that they're guilty of. So, you know, everybody in this room wants to make sure that your rights are all being protected as well. So based on the things that you told us on the record today, we can't go forward with a plea today. What we're gonna do is put it over just 1 week, so April 16th at 3:30 in the afternoon. Anything further, Mr. Gilbert?
We just have the, if we can also move out the
Oh,
bond
yes,
violation.
yes, we'll continue the bond hearing to the same date.
Would the court consider possibly reinstating my client's bond in this week? It's my understanding that she has a child that's graduating on the early graduation from high school. She was hoping to attend.
I just don't know. I mean, and Ms. Barentine, even if you'd entered a plea today, I just don't know that I was going to be reinstating your bond prior to sentencing. We had significant appearance issues, significant non-compliance issues. So I'm just worried if I let you out on bond, I'm not seeing you again.
I know, Your Honor, but I'm staying here in Sheboygan. I've been attending church every Sunday and Wednesday. I've got my faith back. I've got a clear mind finally. I'm away from the things that I was around in Manistee. I don't want to go back there, but my daughter is there. I have 3 girls there. And she is graduating this weekend on Sunday, and we've worked so hard for that, and I don't want to miss that, but I have someone in Onaway and someone I met last time I got out of jail in Sheboygan here, and if I do not follow these stipulations, do whatever you must, but I can assure you I've learned my lesson. I have never even spent more than 3 days in jail. I've been here 20.
Mr. Juliet, people's position.
I share the same concerns with the court. It looks like there was at least 3 no-shows since we've been in circuit court. It looks like 1 notice was returned to the court, but after that, there was 2 no-shows. I guess, we're gonna be back here in a week. I guess I'll leave it to the court on that point.
You guys scored her out. What's your guidelines in this church?
0 to 11.
This seems high. For a 4-year F-grid. She's telling me she's got no priors.
And I was at a restaurant.
Just thinking back, it was the OB-19 that put her there.
Ms. Barentine, I'm going to issue a new bond for you of $5,000 cash or surety to the full amount. The same conditions previously assessed. Meaning you got to call, you got to test, you got to appear. And this is the kind of case that you shouldn't be doing any more jail time on. But if you persist in the series of bad decisions you've made in this case, you'll be doing a bunch more jail time that you don't have to do, right? So this will be an easy surety for you to get. Well, I don't know about how easy because you didn't appear before, but I've set it low enough that somebody hopefully will maybe think you're a decent enough risk for that amount. But I want something on I want some skin in the game on that bond. But you should be able to get that posted and then enjoy that graduation. if you do post, don't miss your court date, don't violate bond. You're gonna be doing a whole lot of jail time you don't have to do. We'll see you next Tuesday at 3:30 in the afternoon here in the court.
How do I get a hold of you?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, who are you?
I'm trying to make sure it's got my picture on there for you. I'm not really familiar with this.
That's not what I asked you. Who are you?
Marty Ray Mitchell. I am Marty Ray Mitchell. I apologize, sir. I'm trying to figure out how to get this so you can see my picture.
I'm gonna put you back in the waiting room while you sort it out.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's call People v. Kayleen Zarzini. It's file 23-6704. And Ms. Zarzini, first, we just want to take care of one matter. It is alleged that you are in contempt of court for violating a condition of your bond by committing an assault for which there's some pending misdemeanor charges in the district court. So I don't want you to tell me anything about that situation, but I just need to advise you that you have the right to have a hearing in this court on that because it would constitute a violation of your bond. If I did find you to be in violation, it could result in up to 93 days in jail and or a $7,500 fine or both. And if I believe that you're not complying with the conditions of your bond, I can revoke that bond. And Mr. Wirgo, do you know how Ms. Zarzini wishes to proceed on that?
Your Honor, she would plead not guilty and we would waive any reading.
Right. And I think given that happened, are we ready to go forward with sentencing today? Or
Your Honor, we would appreciate a brief adjournment.
Ms. Goodrich, any objection to that?
No objection.
Okay. Are you, if we just put it out a couple weeks to April 23rd, see where we're at, or should I put it into the May date?
If I could have one moment.
Sure.
Your Honor, with Ms. Zarzini's health issues and with the fact that our court date for another matter is April 25th, we would request that the May date be issued.
Okay, any objection to putting it out that far, Mr.?
No objection.
Okay, so Ms. Zarzini, what we're gonna do is we're gonna set it for a contempt hearing on the new allegation. And we're gonna adjourn your sentencing event. Just to make sure we wanna get stuff sorted out with what's going on with you and just make sure we get everything in a row before you go through the sentencing door into the recovery program for sure. That we all make sure, including you, that that's gonna be the best plan for you in consultation with your lawyer, okay? So we're gonna continue it to May 14th at 11:30. In the meantime, you are in the program, you know, so maybe touch base with Nicole. Well, I think you already did today. Touch base with her and then we'll see you tomorrow morning. Okay. Evaluation was held, but I don't have.
I don't believe it was, Your Honor. Our office hasn't received any notice and Mr. Morrow hasn't participated in any evaluation. OAC's got no information on it, unfortunately.
Can counsel approach?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's the earlier one.
February.
And we were before Your Honor after that, where it was never sent to our office or him until afterwards. We're trying to set the new one after.
Oh, so he did not attend that.
No, and we were kind of in the wing on the new one. I checked with staff and they are phenomenal.
So is the forensic center scheduling one? Do we know what the status is of that?
The
Or
staff is digging, and I guarantee you they did not sit.
what's
I
that?
said, I guarantee you they didn't sit on it. They're phenomenal. They're digging. trying to find, we don't have anything from the forensic date or anything.
All right, so back on the record, People v. Morrow, we're still awaiting an evaluation and report, so we'll put this out to May 14th at 10 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, is Mr. Ormsby present in the courtroom?
Yes, Your Honor, yes.
Let's call that case. People v. Clinton Ormsby. It's file 24-6781 FE. Docket call, Mr. Wirgo, what's their status?
Your Honor, we have not been successful in reaching any plea agreement yet. I don't believe there's any outstanding discovery matters at this time. I believe that we would have to process and proceed to potential trial.
What?
We would have to proceed towards potential trial, Your Honor.
All right, so let's add it to our. All right, Mr. Ormsby's not in custody. It's home invasion first. It's find over was January 19. What would be the estimated length of trial?
1 day.
What about Thursday, July 18?
I have no issues with that, Your Honor.
Mr. Juliet, or is
That
this,
would be fine.
or is this on, oh, this is, I'm forgetting where we're in now. So we'll schedule this for Thursday, July 18th for jury selection and trial. I'll give both parties 21 days to exchange witness and exhibit lists. And let's set it for a continued docket call on May 14th at 11:10. a.m. and that May 14th will serve as a plea and motion cutoff. If you need any evidentiary motions, contact the assignment clerk. All right, anything further from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
From the people?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, we'll see you May 14th, sir, and then we've got your trial on the books for July 18th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is Opie Haley Acres. 22-6491 Council, please state your appearances.
Jeremiah Buffalo, we're on behalf of Miss Akers, who is seated to my right.
All right, and we're here for probation violation hearing on 2 alleged violations. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, because the facts of this matter form the underlying basis for a current pending charge, Miss Akers would want to proceed with the hearing.
Okay, Mr. Juliet.
And Your Honor, I would have Department of Corrections Officer Nathan Mara on Zoom.
Okay, is there any opening statement you wish to make or no? Any opening statement, Mr. Woodruff?
Wait, Your Honor.
Got some folks on Zoom, let me see who they are. Hello, there's a phone. It just says G7. Can you tell me who you are?
Mason Sushek, Your Honor.
All right, People v. Robert Wright, file 23-6737FH. We are here for a docket call. What's our status, Mr. Virgo?
Your Honor, the prosecution and I have been in, I would say, intense negotiations regarding the potential application of in-rate bets to this case, and a plea agreement has been advanced. Your Honor, I would like the opportunity to bring forth a motion to have the court decide the applicability of in-rate bets to this case. And then if we were unsuccessful with that motion, we would be prepared to enter the plea. So I would ask for another docket call out to a time that would allow, if the 5/14 date would allow me to present my motion in time for a response and to accomplish that. And again, we could enter a plea if we were unsuccessful.
Yeah, and I think it'd be a legal question. We wouldn't need time for testimony.
Agreed.
All right. Let's continue then the docket call to May 14th at 11:20 a.m. And we'll have that be a motion cut off for any non-evidentiary motions then. All right, anything further on Wright?
No, Your Honor.
No, yeah, thank you.
All right, Mr. Wright, you're all set, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, next we've got a docket call in People v. Marty Mitchell, file 22-6430FH. And I think this was just our touch base docket call here then. We are scheduled for trial on May 20 and 21. Are we set to go then on that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And
Yes,
Ms.
Your Honor,
Miller,
that's
is that
fine.
your case? Okay. All right, have witness and exhibit lists been exchanged?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, we filed one recently.
Okay, all right, so I'll require jury instructions, verdict form not later than 7 days prior. And so, Mr. Mitchell, your next court date will, hallelujah, finally be the trial date. I know we've had to move this case a few times, some of it's for some out-of-state witnesses and whatnot. So we will bring this case to a trial on Monday, May 20th, for jury selection to go right into the trial. So we'll see you then, and obviously, Mr. Mitchell, you have to be present in the courtroom personally for that. Anything further from the defense,
No, Your Honor.
from the people?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, we'll see you soon, Mr. Mitchell.
All right, Your Honor. Bless you all and thank you very much.
All right, this is file 22-6478. And on this, looks like we are up for probation violation hearing. And Mr. Wirgo, do you know how we're proceeding today then?
Your Honor, Ms. LeBlanc would wish to plead no contest to the probation violation. The basis for that would be pending liability on an outstanding charge for which the allegations form the basis.
Okay, and does somebody have factual basis they can give?
Your Honor, I do have an affidavit of probable cause that I made.
You want me to read all of both pages, or is there a part you want me to read?
Your Honor, if I may, I believe the last paragraphs.
Starting with Detective Dylan Wendell.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Your Honor, that paragraph. I believe that second to last paragraph alone would satisfy.
Is that a charge that's pending in this county? Does she have a pending charge in this county, Mr. Wirgo?
Yes, Your Honor. It's in district court right now.
Okay. All right, Ms. LeBlanc, would you please stand and as best you can, raise your right hand for me? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, you can be seated. Are you Alyssa LeBlanc?
Yes.
All right. Now you understand you've got the right to have a hearing where these allegations would need to be proven by a preponderance of the evidence, and the right to the assistance of Mr. Wirgo at that hearing and to present evidence in your own defense. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Also, you are on probation to me for receiving and concealing stolen property over $1,000. It's punishable by a maximum of 5 years in prison. If I find you to be in violation, I could revoke your probation and you'd face sentencing on that underlying offense. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
A no contest plea has the same effect as a guilty plea in terms of my authority to sentence you, although it doesn't have you making admissions on a record under oath that could impact your pending case. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, meaning that your no contest plea here today doesn't hurt you in your case that's pending down in district court, but it constitutes a violation of probation here, and I'll sentence you for the violation of probation. You understand that? Do you need to talk to Mr. Wirgo? It looks like you got some questions about that. All right, Mr. Wirgo?
Your Honor, in speaking with Ms. LeBlanc, she does not feel comfortable with the now, so we would request to run the hearing.
Okay, Ms. Miller, do you have any witnesses available or no?
Your Honor, if
I mean, if it was communicated to the people that.
It was, Your Honor.
Okay,
This is an ambush, 100%.
then we'll put it over a week till next Tuesday, April 16th at 9 a.m.
thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Ms. LeBlanc would have that the court reconsider her bond in this matter. She has been actively involved in getting into a recovery since this incident. She is certified as a peer recovery coach and has a position with Peer Recovery Center in Petoskey. She is very committed to handling this matter and believes that everyone would be better served if she were out and assisting and working as opposed to in the jail.
Not a chance. If she's committed this violation based on what her guidelines were and the break we gave her already, this violation is probably sending her off to prison. So not a chance. She'll be sitting until we resolve this matter.
আমি আছি বগুড়ায়, আর বগুড়ার সব সেরা রাঁধুনিরা তাদের হাতের খাবার নিয়ে চলে এসেছেন। কেমন করছেন তারা, চলুন দেখা যাক। দর্শক, অসংখ্য প্রতিযোগীর মধ্য থেকে প্রাথমিকভাবে বাছাইকৃত প্রতিযোগীরা আজ হাজির হয়েছে বগুড়াতে। প্রত্যেকের স্বপ্ন একটাই, হতে চায় সেরা রাঁধুনি, এবং একটু পরেই তারা মুখোমুখি হবে বিচারকদের। তারা কি ভাবছেন, মনের মধ্যে কিরকম দুশ্চিন্তা হচ্ছে, কে কি রেসিপি নিয়ে এসেছেন এবং তাদের জন্য কতটা সহজ হবে ঢাকায় যাওয়ার টিকিট পাওয়া, কথা বলবো প্রতিযোগীদের সাথে। দেখি তারা কি ভাবছেন। কেমন আছেন?
ভালো আছি, আপনি ভালো আছেন?
আপনার রেসিপি কি?
আমার রেসিপিটা হচ্ছে ক্যারামেল অরেঞ্জ ইয়োগার্ট।
ওকে, এটার মূল ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্টস কি?
এটার মূল ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্ট হচ্ছে দই, বগুড়ার বিখ্যাত দই। আমি সেটা দিয়ে ফিউশন করার ট্রাই করেছি।
আপনি এর আগেও অংশ নিয়েছিলেন সম্ভবত 1427 এবং গ্র্যান্ড অডিশন থেকে বাদ পড়েছিলেন, রাইট?
রাইট।
এবারের রেসিপি কি?
এবারের রেসিপি হচ্ছে আমার চকলেট মোকা স্ট্রবেরি চিজ কেক। অল আর মাই সিক্রেট রেসিপি, সো আই এম ভেরি এক্সাইটেড।
কুমু, কেমন আছেন?
ভালো আছি, আপনি কেমন আছেন?
খুব ভালো। এর আগে 1427 লাকি 7 থেকে বাদ পড়েছিলেন, এবার কি মনে হচ্ছে?
প্রথমবারের যে অভিজ্ঞতা, বর্তমানে আমি তারপর আরো 2 বছর সময় নিয়েছি, শিখেছি, তো নিজেকে এবারে তৈরি করে এনেছি। ইনশাল্লাহ ভালো কিছু একটা হবে।
আপনার রেসিপির মূল বৈশিষ্ট্য কি?
আমার রেসিপির মূল বৈশিষ্ট্য হচ্ছে গ্রাম্য নিয়ে এসেছি, মানে আমার গ্রামের যে জিনিসপত্র সে প্রেজেন্ট করবো।
একসঙ্গে কতজনের রান্না করতে পারবেন?
আমি যদি বলি, এখন আমাদের বাসায় যত গেস্ট আসে আপ টু 20।
একটু কি ভয় লাগছে?
হ্যাঁ, একটু ভয় কাজ করছে, কারণ ফার্স্ট টাইম কোনো রিয়েলিটি শোতে আসছি।
তারপর আপনার জন্য শুভকামনা রইল।
সো মাচ।
দর্শক, ভয় তো লাগবেই, এবং এই ভয়কে জয় করাই হচ্ছে যে কোনো প্রতিযোগীর কাজ। সেরা রাঁধুনি কিন্তু একটা লম্বা প্রতিযোগিতা, এবং এই রেসে টিকে থাকার জন্য আপনাকে অবশ্যই অন্যদের চাইতে বেটার রেসিপি দিতে হবে, এবং সেই রেসিপির মধ্য দিয়ে কিন্তু যারা আমাদের বিচারক রয়েছেন তাদের মন জয় করতে হবে। সো দেখা যাক কি হয়, আমাদের সঙ্গেই থাকুন। দর্শক, আমাদের মাঝে বিচারকেরা চলে এসেছেন। একটু পরেই শুরু হবে ফুড টেস্টিং এবং সেই সাথে জাজমেন্ট। আমি এবার কথা বলবো আমাদের বিচারকদের সাথে, দেখি তারা কি ভাবছেন। ওয়েলকাম টু বগুড়া অডিশন। কি খবর?
ভালো, তুমি কেমন আছো?
আমি খুব ভালো আছি, এবং আমি ভুল না করলে এবার দিয়ে বোধহয় 5ম বারের মতো আপনি আসলে বিচারকের দায়িত্ব পালন করছেন। বগুড়ার প্রতিযোগী, সর্বোপরি এবারের প্রতিযোগীদের নিয়ে আপনার কি বলার আছে?
প্রত্যাশা তো অনেক বেশি, কারণ বগুড়া সবসময় সব সিজনেই অনেক ভালো ভালো পার্টিসিপেন্টস আমরা পেয়ে থাকি সেরা রাঁধুনিতে। তো এবারেও আমি আশা করছি যে অ্যাটলিস্ট টপ 5 পর্যন্ত যেন যেতে পারে, এরকম পার্টিসিপেন্টস আমরা এখান থেকে নিয়ে যেতে পারি, এটাই আমাদের প্রত্যাশা।
শেফ নাইম আশরাফ দ্বিতীয়বারের মতো সেরা রাঁধুনির অডিশনের দায়িত্ব পালন করছেন বিচারকের। কেমন লাগছে বা কি মনে করছেন এবারের এই আয়োজন নিয়ে?
সেরা রাঁধুনি গত সিজনে আমরা রংপুর দিয়ে শুরু করেছিলাম, সো এবার বগুড়াতে নতুন পার্টিসিপেন্টসদের খাওয়া ট্রাই করার জন্য ভেরি এক্সাইটেড। রেসিপি সিলেকশনে আমি সবগুলো রেসিপি দেখেছি, সিলেক্ট করেছি, সো ওগুলো খাওয়ার জন্য এবার এখানে আশা করি অনেক ভালো পার্টিসিপেন্টস বগুড়া থেকে পাবো।
অনেক অনেক ভালোবাসা। আমার মনে হয় আমি আর সময় নষ্ট না করি, আপনার ভেতরে চলে যান।
তোমাকে অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ।
থ্যাংক ইউ। দর্শক, আমাদের প্রধান 2 বিচারককে তো পেয়ে গেছি, কিন্তু বগুড়াতে রয়েছেন আমাদের আরও একজন অতিথি বিচারক। তিনি ঠিক কোথায় আমি এখনও জানি না, তাকে খুঁজে পাচ্ছি না। তিনি এলেই কিন্তু শুরু হয়ে যাবে আমাদের মূল অডিশন রাউন্ড।
আমার মাঝে আমি সেরা রাঁধুনি,
mình đã xong con nhím với cái màu nâu này nhé. Phần những lá mình sẽ tô bằng màu xanh. Những chồng cây mình cũng tô bằng màu xanh nha. Đây nữa nè. Đây là các phần cái cây nhỏ ở dưới của một cái tán lá cây to nhá. Những cây cỏ nhỏ ở dưới á. Phần gốc cây mình sẽ tô bằng cái màu nâu nè, thân cây. Đây là cái màu nâu nha. Phần thân cây mình sẽ tô bằng cái màu nâu nha. Một gốc cây cổ thụ rất là to. Với tán lá này mình sẽ tô bằng cái màu xanh lá này nhá.
$15 লাখ টাকা পেয়ে গেলেন, এরপর কি করবেন?
আমি নিজের নামে একটা রেস্টুরেন্ট ওপেন করতে চাই। এটা করতে পারবো, এটা করতে পারবো।
15 লক্ষ টাকায় রেস্টুরেন্ট হবে না তো?
8 বছর চাকরি করেছি মানবাধিকার সংস্থায়। চাকরি চলাকালীন আমি কোনো কিছু শিখতেও পারছিলাম না, এই বিষয়টা নিয়ে আগাতেও পারছিলাম না। সেজন্য আমি চাকরি ছেড়েছি, এটাতে আগাবো বলে। আমার রেসিপির নাম হলো ভেলভেটি কোকোয়া ক্রেভিং।
জান্নাত, কি করেন আপনি?
আমার একটা অনলাইন পেজ আছে যেখানে বাসায় ফুড বানিয়ে সেটা কি বলে সেল করি। কারিগরি প্রশিক্ষণ কেন্দ্র থেকে কয়েকটা বেকিং এবং কুকিংয়ের উপরে সার্টিফাইড কোর্স করেছি এবং বর্তমানে এখন ডিপ্লোমা কালিনারি ম্যানেজমেন্টের উপরে ডিপ্লোমা করছি।
কেন এত পড়াশোনা করেছেন কালিনারি নিয়ে?
নিজেকে একজন প্রফেশনাল শেফ হিসেবে দেখতে চাই।
যখন প্রফেশনাল শেফ হয়ে যাবেন, আমি লাস্ট 7 বছর ঈদে কখনো ছুটি নেইনি। সো ঈদ কমপ্লিটলি গন, হলিডেজ কমপ্লিটলি গন। ফ্যামিলি এটা রাজি হবে? ফ্যামিলি মানবে?
আমি 8 বছর চাকরি করেছি মানবাধিকার সংস্থায়। চাকরি চলাকালীন আমি কোনো কিছু শিখতেও পারছিলাম না, এই বিষয়টা নিয়ে আগাতেও পারছিলাম না। সেজন্য আমি চাকরি ছেড়েছি, এটাতে আগাবো বলে। আর চাকরি যখন করেছি তখন আমার ছেলেকে আমার মা, আমার বোন, ওরা হলো কি দেখাশোনা করেছে।
আপনার কেন মনে হচ্ছে যে সেরা রাঁধুনি সেই প্ল্যাটফর্ম যেটা আপনাকে শেফ হতে সাহায্য করবে?
যারা এই কালিনারি জগতে আসতে চায় তাদের জন্য একটা সেরা প্ল্যাটফর্ম হলো সেরা রাঁধুনি। সব কিছু একটা শক্ত হাতের প্রয়োজন হয় কোনো কিছুতে সামনে আগিয়ে যেতে। তো আমার কাছে শক্ত হাত সেই সেরা রাঁধুনিটা।
শেফ, আমরা কি করতে পারি বলেন? নিয়ে যাই
ওয়েটিং কার্ড দিয়ে।
ওয়েটিং কার্ড দিয়ে দিচ্ছি।
4 বছরের অপেক্ষা।
কি নাম তোমার?
ফাতেমা খাতুন ঋতু।
কি বানিয়েছো আজকে?
ডেজার্ট বানিয়েছি হানি সানফ্লাওয়ার। আমি এখানে বাকলাভা করছি ক্রিম চিজ দিয়ে, যেখানে আমি ক্রিম চিজ ইউজ করেছি হানি।
সো দিস ইজ আ বাকলাভা।
বাকলাভা এবং চিজ,
আউটার লেয়ারটা বাকলাভার
এবং উপরে চিজ কেক।
চিজ কেক এন্ড দেন দিস
দম চিকেন, আর ওইটা নান বানাইছি আমি।
এই দুটো রেসিপি থেকে যদি যে কোনো একটা সিলেক্ট করতে হয়, আমি যদি বলি আপনাকে আমি একটার জন্য মার্ক করব, সেটা কি হবে?
তাহলে বাকলাভা চিজ কেক।
কেন?
বাকলাভা আমার বেকিং খুব ভালো লাগে করতে।
কয়েকটি কুইজিনের নাম বলেন।
আচ্ছা মানে আমি ইতালিয়ান, তারপর এইভাবে বলবো কি পাস্তা, তারপর পিৎজা, ইন্ডিয়ান কুজিনের মধ্যে আসে বিরিয়ানি, তারপর হলো বিভিন্ন ধরনের রায়তা, রাবড়ি এগুলা। আর টার্কিশ ডেজার্ট করেছি, টার্কিশ ডেজার্টে বাকলাভা তো আসেই। থাই কুজিনে হলো টম ইয়াম স্যুপ আছে, তারপরে হলো থাই ফ্রাইড রাইস আছে একটু।
লেটসে আমরা আপনাকে আজকে সিলেক্ট করলাম, আপনি শোতে এসে শো জিতে গিয়েছেন,
ওকে
15 লাখ টাকা পেয়ে গেলেন, এরপর কি করবেন?
আমি নিজের নামে একটা রেস্টুরেন্ট ওপেন করতে চাই, এটা করতে পারবো, এটা করতে পারবো।
15 লক্ষ টাকায় রেস্টুরেন্ট হবে না তো?
যতটুকু হোক,
বাকিটা
ছোট হোক বা বড় হোক, যতটুকু হোক আমি করব।
যদি আজকে এখানে সুযোগ না পান তাহলে কি আপনার জার্নিটা থেমে যাবে?
না না না, অবশ্যই না, আমি আবার চেষ্টা করব।
আই লাইক দ্য স্পিরিট, আপনার ফুডের টেস্ট ভালো,
থ্যাংক ইউ।
এখন খুশি হতে পারেন। আপনাকে যখন 15 লাখ টাকা জিতেছেন, আপনি ইমাজিন করতে বলছে আপনি অনেক খুশি হয়ে গিয়েছিলেন।
না না, এমন কিছু না। ঢাকা অবধি যাই তখন হয়তো ইমাজিন করতে পারবো যে আমি অনেকটা একটা ধাপ হলেও এগিয়ে আসতে
ইমাজিন
পারছি।
করেন আপনি ওয়েটিং কার্ড পেয়ে গিয়েছেন।
হ্যাঁ আচ্ছা,
পেয়ে গিয়েছেন,
সত্যি
জি চলে আসুন।
ঠিকই জানি আমার মাঝে আমি সেরা রাধুনী।
Mình đã tô xong quả dứa với cái màu cam nha. Phần lá là màu xanh nè. Còn phần chùm nho này, đây là một chùm nho chín nha. Mình đã xong cái màu cam này rồi. Mình sẽ tô bằng cái màu tím nha. Màu tím nha. Đây là cái màu tím nè. Mình sẽ xếp lại cái màu của mình vào cái hộp màu này. Để cho nó đỡ chặt nha. với những quả nho màu tím nhá, mình sẽ tô. Một chùm nho rất là nhiều quả nho nhỏ nha. Mình đang tô phần chùm nho với cái màu tím nhá. Một cái giỏ hoa quả gồm 4 loại quả là quả xoài, quả táo, quả cam và quả nho. Mình đang tô phần quả nho nha.
আপনার রাইস যেটা জি খুব যে খারাপ হয়েছে সেটা না
On top of that, it is slightly overcooked.
আমার নাম প্রীতি ইসলাম। আমি আজকে কোকোনাট রাইস রান্না করেছি, কোকোনাট রাইস উইথ গ্রিল চিকেন অ্যান্ড কোরিয়ান্ডার সস, সাথে পামকিনের আরেকটা সস দিয়েছি। ডেজার্টে দিয়েছি বাহারি মোহনভোগ।
আপনার মানে এই যে রেসিপি জি সব কিছু মিলিয়ে কি মনে হয় সেরা রাঁধুনিতে পার্টিসিপেট করার জন্য এটা দিস ইজ বেস্ট রেসিপি?
জি আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে এটা বেস্ট হবে।
প্রীতি, ফার্স্ট থিং আমি আপনাকে টেকনিক্যাল জিনিসটা বলি,
Yeah, sure.
ঠিক আছে? ইটস ভেরি ড্রাই। সেকেন্ড জিনিস হলো গিয়ে হোল রোস্ট ইজ নট দি আইডিয়াল থিং টু ডু ওয়েন ইউ আর সার্ভিং দিস অ্যাট আ রেস্টুরেন্ট অর এরকম একটা কুকিং শোতে। ইউ ডোন্ট এক্সপেক্ট দ্য জাজেস অর দ্য কাস্টমার এটাকে কেটে নেবে। অন টপ অফ দ্যাট ইট ইজ স্লাইটলি ওভারকুকড।
এখন একটু আমরা টেস্ট করে দেখি। আপনার রাইস যেটা জি খুব যে খারাপ হয়েছে সেটা না, ভালো,
থ্যাংক ইউ।
আর ডেজার্টটাও মাইল্ড, মানে মিষ্টির ব্যালেন্সটা ভালো আছে।
জি জি
কিন্তু ব্যাপারটা হয় কি যে যখন আমরা অডিশনে আসি তখন এতগুলো জিনিস দিয়ে আসলে অডিশন না।
আমি
দরকার
এনেছি
ছিল
কারণ
না।
আমি হচ্ছে ফুল প্ল্যাটারটাই সার্ভ করতে
ঠিক আছে,
এটা আমার ইন্টেনশন ছিল।
এতগুলো না দিয়েও আপনি শুধু একটার উপর যদি ফোকাস দিতেন
জি জি
তাও মনে হয় আপনার
আমি
বেস্ট হতো।
সবগুলোর উপরে সমান ফোকাস দিয়েছি, বাই মিস্টেকেনলি একটু ফল্ট হয়েছে হয়তো, কিন্তু আমি চেষ্টা করছি খুব যত্ন করে করার অ্যাকচুয়ালি।
আসলে যত্নের ছোঁয়া এখানে আছে আমি দেখতে পাচ্ছি, এবং রেসিপির মধ্যেও আমার কাছে ভিন্নতা লেগেছে, আর কিছু টেকনিক্যাল ফল্ট আছে। তো আমার মনে হয় ওইগুলো যদি একটু কারেকশন করা যায় তাহলে ইট ওয়াজ গুড।
প্রীতি, দ্য চিকেন হ্যাজ ফ্লেভার, চিকেনটা মজা, সসটাও মজা, রাইট? বাট বেসিকে প্রবলেম হয়ে গেছে। বেসিক ইজ আপনার কুকিংটাই তো ওভারকুকড।
আমাকে অ্যাকচুয়ালি পোলট্রি চুজ করতে হতো মেবি এই ক্ষেত্রে।
ফার্মের মুরগি ইউজ করলে মনে হয়
পোলট্রিটা
জি।
বেশি জুসি।
অফ কোর্স।
আমার এটা ফল্ট হয়েছে, এটা আমি বুঝছি।
প্রীতি, আই থিঙ্ক ওভারঅল টেস্ট ভালো আছে, অ্যান্ড আই থিঙ্ক ইটস আ গুড এফোর্ট। উই ওয়ান্ট টু গিভ ইউ আ চান্স। ঠিক আছে,
থ্যাংক ইউ, থ্যাংক
ওয়েট
ইউ।
করেন, আসেন, আপনাকে ওয়েটিং কার্ড হবে।
আমার খুবই ভালো লাগছে যে আমি ওয়েটিং কার্ডটা পেয়ে গেছি। আমি কিন্তু কনফিডেন্ট ছিলাম যে আমি ওয়েটিং কার্ডটা পাবো, আর আমি এখন অপেক্ষায় আছি নেক্সট রাউন্ডে ঢাকা যাওয়ার জন্য। আমি আশাবাদী যে আমি ঢাকা পর্যন্ত যেতে পারবো।
Làm cho chú cá này uyển chuyển này, bơi lội. Với cái phần vây là cái màu cam nha. Mình đã tô xong cái phần vây ở đuôi nha. Mình đang tô cái phần vây của chú cá ở phần lưng nha. Mình tiếp tục tô cái phần vây ở chỗ phần dưới của đầu nè. Phần vây là rất là dài nhá.